Lights, camera, action. In a studio where local filmmakers talk to other filmmakers about the inside world of film. Cut! That's not the script. It. We'll fix it in post. Do you wonder how films are produced and what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, stand by. Filmmakers Kevin Mumphrey, Victoria V.A. Jones, and Carson Hype Ferguson explain all the details. Right here on It, We Will Fix It in Post podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whenever you're listening, I thank you for doing so. I am Kevin Mumphrey once again, and this is
Watch your profanity.
We Will Fix It in Post. I do have my colleagues with me, Carson Hype Ferguson.
Yeah.
And Victoria V.A. Jones.
What's going on?
Today we have an actress out of the Los Angeles area. She goes by the name of Auriel Jones. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you guys for having me. I was very pleasantly surprised.
Well, we aim to please. We've come a long way in a short time, so thank you. But want to start off with, how did you get, what made you get into acting?
So I'm originally from Washington, D.C., and I attended Duke Ellington School of the Performing Arts. I was a theater major there. There's been a few talents that have come out of Duke Ellington, Dave Chappelle being one of them. Samira Wiley, she played Pusey Washington on Orange is the New Black. She came out of Duke Ellington. The singer Auriel also came out of Duke Ellington School of the Arts. She was a vocalist there. So there's a lot of really amazing talents come out of that school. After I graduated from Duke Ellington, I actually switched gears a little bit. I went to Columbia College Chicago, and I majored in television production. I think that studying theater in school took away the enjoyment of practicing the craft of acting, and I just kind of wanted something different. So I did television production. I was filming, editing. I did writing for television. I did news anchoring for a little bit. I tried radio. I kind of dabbled in a lot of other technical sides of the industry. And then I did a semester away out here in LA where I worked at Raleigh Studios. And I think that in my experience doing that, I saw that the industry is very white male dominated. And I think that I wasn't sure if I could see a place for me in the industry. So I went back to Chicago afterwards. I worked in fashion for a little bit, but I still really wanted to be in California. So I did end up moving back out to California in 2016, and I continued to work in fashion and beauty for a little bit. I was working for a clothing brand in 2020 when the entire world shut down. And so I was working from home. And I was just very bored. I was unhappy. And I would have thought that working from home and not having to go into an office would solve all of my problems. And then I kind of had a moment to really assess what my 5-year plan really is. What do I see myself doing? And I just started to submit myself to a few commercials and films and projects. I guess being non-union, I had more of an opportunity to kind of like do smaller projects. So I submitted myself in the middle of the pandemic, and I started getting booked. I started working on short films and commercials and things like that. I quit my job and it's kind of
kudos.
It's kind of been taken off ever since. So yeah, I'm very grateful.
So
You've done a lot.
Right. So how does it feel coming from a spot where all those people who are famous now coming from? So does that put a lot of pressure on you or what?
I feel like Duke Ellington was a very nurturing environment. I think that we all had big dreams and goals, but it was really up to us to graduate and to be able to take what we've learned and learn more and try to become business savvy. And I feel like those that have really made it in these industries, it's because they learned about the business that they were going into. Whereas at Duke, we learned a lot about the craft that we were practicing. I I don't think I feel pressured necessarily, but I do feel very hopeful because it's like my peers are an example of what can be achieved, because we've all come from the same place, we've all come from the same city, and we've all had the same level of training, at least on that level. So I think it's very inspiring to see these people that I remember walking the halls with now making albums and traveling and like doing what they love to do. So for me, I think that I use that as an example of what I can achieve. And even though obviously they continued that path after Duke Ellington, and that obviously has resulted in them being where they are. I even though I feel like I don't feel behind, I guess. I feel like everything that I've experienced and the things that I've learned in the industries that I've worked in have all been able to, I've been able to use it, and it's been useful to me now. And I feel like I can't imagine the person that I am now. I'm experienced, I'm savvy, I'm smart, like I don't scare easily. I'm
that's what
very
I'm talking
secure.
about. She's like, oh,
so
you use loyal.
What?
No, like the DJ. I made that was DJ Khaled reference.
Okay, I got you. We understand.
Please continue.
My bad. not to break your train of thought. Sorry.
No worries. But I say all that to say, like, I feel like now is the time for me to pursue what I'm pursuing. So I feel like it's all happening when it's supposed to happen for me.
All right. So being a female in this industry, how hard is it for you?
I definitely would say like I have had a different experience. It is still very male dominated. I walk onto certain sets, and I think that I have to have a certain level I always have a certain level of professionalism, but I feel like I am a little bit more alert,
right,
in a lot of ways. There's like that line between being friendly and being too friendly, and I am outgoing and I am personable, but I know that I have to have a boundary in certain situations, because like not wanting to give someone the wrong impression, or like not wanting to be unprofessional. Like I'm always in a constant state of just like self-observation when I walk onto certain sets. Also like filming late nights in LA, worrying about safety, worrying about, like doing small projects. I always ask, like, who's on the set? How big is the production crew? Just like making sure that I'm only putting myself in safe situations.
So what environment you're in.
Exactly. And so, just like, making sure I have people that I can call, that are close, you know what I mean? Or like, making sure to drive there. Where do I park? Like, just like kind of making sure that I am safe, because like doing these smaller projects, you don't really know what you're going into sometimes, and just like,
definitely.
And then knowing like what projects to say yes and no to, just making sure that like I only do things that are of a certain standard because of my own reputation, and just making sure that I'm seen in a positive light as well. Saying no to certain things, knowing what to say yes and what to say no to. So it's been definitely a good portion of this experience is through a feminine gaze, and just like making certain decisions as a woman.
Yeah.
In the industry.
Do you bring people with you? Because I know that like certain spots that I go to, or if I'm doing a film or something like that, I'll probably most of the time I bring Kevin with me, because I don't know what's gonna happen, and if they don't listen to me, they'll listen to a male's voice. So these guys are always good at
bald-headed black man.
Always good at speaking up for me if somebody shuts me down or something like that. So do you always do you have that person or those people around you?
You know what? Interestingly enough, I haven't had that luxury because of COVID. And so they're very particular about who we bring on set. Because I have friends, I have people around me who like, are in the industry or like live close by if I'm filming something. But because of COVID protocols, because of like testing and mask mandates and all that kind of stuff, like we're not able to bring people on set. also, I know that I want to make sure that I can navigate this industry independently.
Right.
And so I know that there are instances where I won't be able to do that. So I kind of try not to do that now.
Yeah.
Especially walking onto professional sets. Like, I want to make sure that I'm regarded as a professional and that, like, I don't need somebody with me and I can speak for myself. I represent myself well. So I think that with COVID, I've been kind of pushed to make sure that I can be independent and just like know what the red flags are, when to politely excuse myself and let them know that I'm not going to be able to, and which doesn't really happen, or just like to kind of look up the director, look up, like as much information as I can about whatever it is I'm filming, and like decide in a good amount of time that this is not for me so that they can find somebody else, and just trying to like handle things as professionally as possible.
That's awesome. Like the fact that you even look out like that too, that'll go a long way. I'll tell you that right now firsthand. That'll go a long way.
Now, you mentioned these red flags. Now, for somebody who's new, like, what are some of the red flags do you look for?
Well,
I feel like there's a good story with this.
I think I would prefer. I know that things happen in production, and sometimes we don't get locations and times and things like that until last minute. It just is what it is. But I look at like the way a call sheet is sent out, the way that it's designed, who's copied on it, like, are there people that I can contact if something happens? Who's the first AD? Who's the director? Who's going to be on set? If it's a smaller project, I'm looking at their Instagram. I'm looking at who's liking their Instagram. I'm looking at if they've done work prior. Is there a telephone number that I can call? And then where in LA are we shooting? Is it a decent area? Is there parking? Are there going to be, water or whatever provided? Like, are they thinking about the crew? Because it kind of gives the indication that they've done this before, or like, are they kind of winging it? And like, I look at their Facebook pages. Like, I try to look at their YouTube, like, to see if there's other work that has been done. Like, I just try to, like, because again, a lot of the small projects that I have done have kind of like helped me get to where I am. So I'm not against doing small projects, student films. Like, those are the ones that you want, right? Because you make those connections and you don't know where that's going to end up. Those are the ones that I go for. But I also want to make sure it's safe, it's professional, and that it's worth my time if I'm obviously going to be driving in LA, paying for gas, trying to find parking. You know what I mean?
Gas
like,
is expensive.
It has to be worth it. Exactly.
You're paying LA gas. What is it for you right now?
Out here, I think that the highest I've seen is like $6.49.
What?
Lord have mercy.
Oh my gosh! And I think $4 for us is bad.
We crying at $4.
Don't complain. Don't complain.
Oh my god!
So there's no joyriding in there.
Nah, unless you want a bicycle.
Or a bird, one of those. No. Not in your car.
Oh, my stomach hurt off that.
Oh
that
my
hurt.
Goodness.
Okay. Oh, I lost my train of thought for a second. Okay, I'm good now. I'm good. You just punched me with that number. So
you won't be visiting LA this summer, will you?
No.
Ironically though, the summertime they switch blends and it'd be a little bit cheaper.
What's a little bit cheaper? 10 cents?
Yeah.
5 cents?
10 cents.
That ain't enough.
Hey,
I need to go down $1.
It makes a difference.
Does it?
Every cent counts.
No, it doesn't. A dollar counts.
When it goes up, every cent counts.
$1 counts. You Kroger, ain't you?
Actually, I don't use Kroger too much. Like every now and again, like I do have the rewards program, but I'm very, very unloyal when it comes to rewards programs. So I get 3 cents off over here, 6 over there, 10 over there. I was like, hey, look,
please,
ain't no loyalty with that gas company.
I'll get it where I can get it. But back to you. Because you're originally from the Washington area. Now, usually actors, they go to New York or they go to LA, but you chose LA. So what was it about LA that kind of grabbed your attention outside of New York?
I think that I think that I chose California because I figured if I, for whatever reason, decided that this was not for me, I still enjoyed being in California. I enjoyed the weather. I enjoyed the people. California gives you whatever you want. If you want snow, you can go to the mountains. If you want the beach, you can go to the beach. You know, like it. I picked a place where I knew that I could live. Um, Funny, I did actually move to New York for a few months.
A
This
few
was
months.
it was a few months. I tried it out. It was the end of the summer. It was
Was it
starting to
6
get
months
shittier.
or less?
It was like 2.
Oh,
And it
It
worked.
was like 2.
Man, just worked out so swimmingly, huh?
It didn't take me long to decide that that was just not what
So-
I didn't want to live there.
so what was it about
was
New
gonna
York
be-
where you was like, nah, this ain't gonna work?
It was the traffic, wasn't it?
It was the traffic, it was the weather.
Oh man.
It was all of it. I don't know. Like I just felt like it was something about it. I was like, I feel like it's gonna be more difficult for me in this market for some reason. Like I feel like it was just there was a lot of people trying to do the exact same thing. I was like running around, going to auditions, and just like people are cold and moody, and it was just a different vibe. And I was like, you know what? I feel like there are more young independent creatives out here in California that are doing art for art's sake, that I can collaborate with some really creative people and just see how it goes. Whereas in New York, I just got this vibe of like survival mode. Like
Dog eat dog.
survival
Yeah, I can
mode
see that.
to the point where they kind of like forget why they're doing the thing,
Right.
because it's like paying the rent and like getting around and having to struggle to stay afloat. And California doesn't have that vibe for me. So it just wasn't for me. It started to get cold. I was like,
Oh yeah.
done.
Oh, it started to get cold.
I was like, that's enough.
Don't come to Tennessee
The
then.
weatherman said, "Wait, how cold is it gonna
Wait,
get tomorrow?"
hold up. So, but she lived in Chicago for a little bit, and I heard they have disrespectful wind up there.
We do.
Disrespectful
They do
wind.
have disrespectful wind. And
Yeah,
I told
yeah.
myself I would never put myself in that situation again. So when the wind started blowing in New York, I was like, I remember this feeling. I don't like this feeling. I
Yeah.
need to go back to California. So I actually moved right back. Like I was in New York for a little bit and I moved right back.
So if it's under 50, it's not for you at all.
Yes.
Yeah, don't,
Yes.
don't come to Tennessee with all this bipolar weather.
Oh yeah.
One day is 70,
Yeah.
one day is 50, one day is raining, one day is
Snowstorm.
Like you need to be independently wealthy here so you can have a fall home. Fall is nice. Fall is nice.
Yeah, there are springs and summers are fine. Summer and especially winter, you can get 30 degrees. You can get 80 degrees on Christmas, and
That's
a
crazy.
snowstorm in January. We
no
just don't know.
March.
And I was gonna bring that up too, but yeah, we had a little snow in
It
March.
literally,
That's
I'm trying to
happening in
tell
other
you,
places.
it literally snowed on Saturday morning, and the next day it was like 70 degrees.
Yeah,
Literally.
Yeah, it's done that. It's done that a couple times, but that's kind of freakish though.
It
It's bipolar weather. I'm trying to tell you.
changes.
I mean, that's kind of freakish.
it changes so quickly that you almost think, wait, did yesterday actually happen?
It's like a movie. It's like a movie.
That's crazy.
Exactly. Exactly.
That is a great way to describe Tennessee weather. It is a movie. Now I hear when people get into acting and they move to LA, it takes like a little, like maybe a year to adjust. Was that about the same for you?
You know what? I think that it took a little bit for me to adjust being in LA. But as far as getting into the industry, I was able to jump right in it. And I think it was because of the shutdown.
So what was it about the being shut down that made it so easy for you?
Well, big productions had stopped. I was going in as non-union. And I think that there were a lot of creatives still willing to create. And there weren't a lot of actors who were wanting to kind of still be out and trying to get work. You know, everybody had like the option of unemployment or like working from home or whatever. And so I think I was part of that small percentage that was still taking that chance to go on set. And mind you, this is when this is before vaccines, before testing, before we like all of the information that we were getting about COVID-19 was from Twitter. So I was like, well,
what a great place to get your information.
You know, when they were like, oh, hold your breath. And if you can hold your breath for 10 seconds, like, then you're good. I'm like, oh, well, I'm good. It's like, I'm going to go to an audition. You know what I mean? So I feel like I kind of was taking the risks when like not a lot of other people were taking those risks. And I was kind of willing to just see where it goes. I think that and also I did it a little bit differently, whereas I didn't look for representation. I didn't want to get an agent. I didn't want to get a manager. I wasn't really up on a lot of casting sites. I was just kind of like finding the small projects. I connected with this really amazing filmmaker, and he made a short film that's won several awards actually at film festivals. And that was one of my first projects that I had worked on. And from there, he referred me to somebody else who was working on something, and it just kind of went from there. And then as things started to open back up, this was about 2 summers ago. I was like, okay, well, like now I'll go on LA casting. Now I'll go on backstage. Like now I'll try to submit myself through these other channels to just see, what happens. And it just kind of took off from there. So I think that, and obviously we all operated differently in these last 3 years. It was a very scary time. But I think that what was scariest for me was that it's like, okay, anything can happen. So like, what do I want, and what do I want to do, and what do I want to be doing? And so I think that was the scariest part of that for me, was to be like working from home and like not having anything to look forward to, not really feeling passionate about anything, not really feeling fulfilled in any way. And so I just kind of took the risk and went out there and just like was on set, obviously with a mask on or whatever. Yeah. And so I think that there were just like a few actors in the area that were like non-union and were allowed to do non-union work. And we were all just kind of out there seeing what we could do, and also not expecting pay for it. So I did a lot of free projects to start off, just like doing it for the sake of doing it, meeting people, networking that way on sets, and just kind of just being open to seeing where it would go.
That's how you build yourself up, doing the free stuff at first.
I'm gonna call you best friend. I'm gonna call you best friend.
What?
I was just saying. I
don't get it.
I don't either. I don't.
But you laugh.
No. Be willing to do free projects. Doing the things that need to be done. Like a lot of people, they don't like doing none of that. They don't like doing anything. They just want to.
How you gonna get yourself out there if you don't do?
Well, I can't get from the top. You start at the bottom.
You talk to them.
You never start at the bottom.
No, they don't want to start from the bottom and now they be here. They want to start from here and forget the bottom. I'm not lying.
You're not.
I'm not lying.
I don't know why the fact that you said that was funny to me.
Because it's him.
Yeah.
I'm a funny guy.
You are.
But I wanted to touch on the, you being you're still non-union, correct?
Yes, I'm still non-union.
Now, they usually, at least just from what I've heard, that in LA it's like it's harder to get work when you're non-union because the union is like pretty much based in LA. So was there like this like did COVID kind of create this opening for non-union workers?
From what I've experienced the opposite. And I remember a lot of my friends, the connections that I made that were in the union were having a really hard time during the pandemic because there weren't very many union jobs, whereas there were student films still filming and like commercials and that kind of thing. And so it kind of created a lane for those who were non-union to be working while the union actors were like waiting for, the studios to start filming again. So I experienced the opposite. I think that being non-union, it allows me to kind of be a little bit more creative. I've done short films. I'm working on a short film now. I've done commercials. I've done airline commercials, food commercials. I just recently shot the spring campaign for Doc Marten shoes, and that was non-union. Thank you. That was non-union. So I've been able to to kind of move about in a way that I want to. I know with union, there are dues to be paid, and like you're kind of limited in like what you can work on. Like you can only work on certain, you know, productions. And I know that, you know, sometimes union actors will like sneak and do certain things, but you know, you're not really supposed to. It's like there are like a certain code of rules for union actors, whereas with non-union, if there's a filmmaker making a really dope project, you know, I can be cast, whereas like a union actor cannot. And like, again, you don't know where that can go. I know union actors who book a recurring role on a show, and then the show doesn't get picked up for another season, and then they're back looking for work, whereas like I can do whatever it is. I can do whatever I want. You know what I mean? I don't have to wait.
So it gives you more freedom.
Project. Exactly. It gives me a lot more freedom to kind of work and explore. And like, again, you just never know which one of these projects are going to take off. You never know where you're going to see yourself. You never know who you can meet. You know, we're all working to be more and to do more. And so it's like, it's amazing to connect with these artists and to not have to like, you know, wait for my next check or like wait for, you know, my next major audition, because realistically, I have better chances of like working on several small projects than like an actor has to book a recurring role on a CW show. You know what I mean? Like just realistically.
Right.
So being non-union has been very good for me. And I've talked to other actors that I've met on sets, and they mostly have said the same thing. And a lot of those who are union eligible have chosen not to get into the union because they just are like, well, I feel like I'm not going to be able to work as much. And like, what's the likelihood of me booking a show when like everyone's trying to do that?
All right. So what is your do you have a favorite project that you've done so far?
So I definitely had, I worked on Doc Martin. That was a lot of fun. I got some shoes. They gave me shoes.
You got free shoes?
They gave me free shoes.
Okay.
That's always a plus.
I'm in it for the shoes.
All right.
Always a plus right there.
I know. I worked with, there's a musician. His name is Black Party. I did a music video for him.
That I saw that.
Project.
That's a nice song.
Yeah, he's a really good artist out here in LA. It was a really, really fun project to work on. I've done a music video for Calvin Harris. He's like an EDM artist. That was a lot of fun. Right now I'm working on a short film with a small filmmaker. It's actually one of her first films. And I am grateful to be able to have, because it's a small project, I kind of have a hand in things. So I'm now co-producing it with her.
All right.
I'm also, thank you. And I'm also wanting to dabble in costuming because I do have like a background in fashion. And so I want to kind of be able to use what I know to do the costuming. And so that has been, I'm grateful to be a part of this because it's giving me a chance to kind of have my hand in different areas of the industry. And I'm just learning so much. And so we're producing that, and that should be going into, we should be filming that in the next couple of months. So I'm really excited about that. And then I did another short film that won several awards. That was a really, really fun project, really fun set. And then I did recently a commercial for Coca-Cola. It was
congratulations.
Thank you. It was partnered with UCLA and Cinemark movie theaters, and that was a really fun project to work on. So,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot going on.
A lot. I've been busy. Which is a good thing.
Right. That's good. Yeah. The world is officially starting to open back up. So
I know.
You know. Mandates being lifted and, you know, stuff like that. So they're like, let's cut loose.
I don't know why. I like you said mandates, and I heard mayonnaise.
That's what I heard too.
That's what I heard too.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me re-say it.
Mayonnaise.
Mandates.
I was gonna let it slide.
And you were gonna let me just say it. You know, he at least corrected me.
Look, I ain't no let it slide kind of guy. I hope y'all know that.
Jesus,
I was hoping I was the only person that heard that.
No.
And you gonna let it slide?
Yep.
You weren't gonna say nothing?
Yep.
That's how you gonna put me out? I
When you said
appreciate
it,
you.
I just kind of like looked like, oh yeah, nobody said. Oh, but then,
But
That's how you
but
then Carson fixed that. So,
You know, you would think that you would correct me, Kevin. But Karsten corrected me over
I
here.
didn't want to do all that.
no, but I wasn't correcting. I was like, I thought I heard something.
But you corrected me, though.
I just
That
thought
was
I
a
pointed it out.
correction.
No, it's not a correction. I just like had made observation because I didn't know what I heard.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hey, it could have been whatever.
This part of the interview is brought to you in part by mayonnaise.
No, it's not.
I was like, I'll eat that.
But given the fact, I wanted to touch a little bit more on you being non-union. Given that you have this freedom that union actors don't necessarily have, like what kind of projects are you looking to work in? Like, are you looking to be the villain, or you want to play like a hero? Like, what type of roles would you like to play?
I think that I kind of want to dabble in a little bit of all of it. I do have an interest in horror films and
Good
like
Lord, why?
psychological thrillers and like that kind of thing.
Because you can slash and dash people.
You just want to stab someone?
Listen.
That's always the fun part. You didn't know that?
Right? That's the fun part.
What I've known with most
Yeah.
actresses, they want to do some sort of horror.
Right. And the only reason why I haven't done a horror film yet is because y'all probably ain't gonna get in on it.
Nah.
But like the campy one that we did with Holly or whatever. Not Holly. I don't want to say Holly. Heidi. That did all kinds of.
Well, I've done one before, but not with y'all.
yeah,
So I'm saying
yeah.
Kevin's not gonna do it. And
Kevin will support y'all from far away.
Man,
See?
that too.
I do not care for horror films.
Them 2 o'clock in the mornings, man. That's
well, you got to
real.
do it
Man,
at
I gotta
night,
be-
right? You
I
got to
gotta
do
be-
it when the sun's down because that's when the best horror happens.
So I tend to have this notion that actresses like to do horror because they just want an excuse to stab someone.
Maybe.
Possibly. I'm not going to say yes, but I'm not going to say no.
Y'all, both of y'all eyes said yes. Y'all may never said it, but y'all eyes went, yes, exactly why we want to do this.
Maybe. I just
Like,
want
even your eyelids was like, yes. Stabbing
I
dudes
just
on-
want to tell somebody on set, hey, I need you to kill this person, and I not get in trouble as a director or
and-
anybody.
And you'll be dressed like a hit woman when you say it.
Exactly.
Go ahead, take
all
care
in
of it.
black.
And
She's gonna be wearing a full suit. He's like, yeah, that one right there.
Nah,
Oh, now that one.
no, she'll be like, you know what? He's not dead enough. Do it again.
Yeah, do it again. That's another take. Do another take.
I mean, it's 40 takes. How many times y'all gonna stab me? Do
100?
we get it right? Do we get it right?
I got pulled out as an extra on this one set because they needed somebody, and the producer and writer was like, "Hey, we need somebody to get knocked out," and it was like, "Oh, you." I was like, "Really? You need me
That's
to
what
get
I'm
knocked
saying.
out?"
I would have pulled the black card. Hey, so you just gonna pick the brother? Really?
So what if it was another black dude who was knocking you out?
Don't matter. I'm still pulling that card out.
Oh my God. Whatever. Okay.
Especially if it's on February. Really, dog? On Black History Month?
I mean, how are you gonna say that if it's another black dude hitting
Don't
you?
matter. I'm not getting knocked
It,
out.
it,
Not
it
for
was
free.
It was another black dude, and I was like, yo, can we can I struggle a little bit? Like, why I gotta just get knocked out with one hit? And I was like pleading with everybody. I was like, no, see, I gotta.
Can I dodge the first swing?
And they're like, no. For sake of time, you had to get knocked out.
For the sake of look, man, we got all night.
How many takes did y'all have?
It was like 5 takes to get knocked out one time. I was like, oh man, like this is really hurting my ego.
You're like, hey, we'll make it look good in post though. It'll be that slow motion knockdown.
Oh no, I look like a punk in post. Because I was like,
Punk in post.
oh man, I fell down. I was like, look at that.
Fix it in post.
Fix it in post.
Exactly.
can't fix them hands.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get back to the guests.
So, now because you've done obviously behind the scenes stuff, are you looking to kind of delve in that, like maybe more production, editing, maybe even writing?
I want to say yes. I think that just as an actor, it kind of makes you more of a well-rounded artist if you have knowledge of all of the different aspects of production, whether that be script writing, script supervising, costuming, lighting, sound. I think that these can all be helpful, especially just knowing what's expected of you as an actor on these sets when you walk onto these sets, and just like being mindful of certain things. I do think that after having experience producing the piece that I'm co-producing now, I would love to produce more. I definitely think that I am drawn to taboo stories. I think that we see a lot of the same thing, and there's a lot of remakes. You know, we see a lot of
really?
the same version. Yes. You know,
where on earth did you get that idea?
Like, I can't be the only one who is.
Girl, we remaking this interview.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of bad ones. Bad ones. Let me tell you.
Yes.
So,
you know, a lot of the same story, and I don't think that I'm alone. I feel like there's a collective of artists that are just ready to see something different.
right.
And I would like to also explore just taboo stories, things that we haven't seen, things that we don't talk about. Like I just want something different, you know. I am just like tired of seeing the same things. I'm tired of seeing the same shows. I'm tired of seeing the same movies being redone.
Amen to that.
You know, it's like,
Okay, but when
like
you say
we've seen this.
when you say
So,
taboo, what do you mean taboo?
Yeah. Please elaborate.
sure.
What are
I
y'all
feel like
thinking?
just-
We're
yeah,
dudes.
What were you thinking?
We're
And I'll say-
dudes.
No, like
Trust me,
no.
you don't wanna know.
We ain't even going down there. We ain't going that route. I'm like, no. What's a taboo story? Like, because you know, taboo to you, it may be something taboo to that dude on the internet or whatever. You know, so the story may be different. No, because like some in some people's cultures,
The
with their
Reddit
tattoos.
community, it may not be as taboo.
We ain't even going there. We don't want to talk about no Reddit. We don't talk about no Reddit. But I'm saying like taboo, like a tattoo would be taboo in certain communities. Like ear piercing would be taboo in certain communities. So it doesn't even have to be like that crazy. You know, are you going to tell a ear piercing story or something like that? Is that going to be your taboo story? I tried to roll that example in there. You see?
Well,
I'm trying.
for an example, like
Okay, I'm confused.
sorry.
I'm confused.
well, for an example, like say Pose, for example. Pose was groundbreaking because it was a story that we don't get to see. You know, it was completely different from other things that are on television right now. Or like one of my favorite directors is Jordan Peele, and I think that he also makes taboo stories. Like putting Black and brown actors in the horror space, that's different. We don't see that a lot. We don't see these kinds of stories, and like I want to kind of continue to go in that direction, like things that we don't usually see. We see a lot of teenage drama, you know. We see a lot of shows about, you know, we like to consume things that are like exciting and risky, like drugs, you know, shows about the drug cartel or about drugs, or about like, you know, we have a lot of movies about Beverly Hills cops, like cops in New York. We've seen these.
Right.
You know what I mean? We see
There's
a lot
always
of
something going on in New York.
right? There's like always these like police action shows and dramas. We have a lot of hospital dramas. Like we have, you know, like we see the same superhero movies again and again and again and again and again. And it's just like, that's great. People love those things. People love that kind of media. People love those kind of movies, those kind of television shows. But what else? Like, what else can we talk about? And like, where else can we see brown faces? You know, like I see a lot of, I watch a lot of television, and I'm like, is the story really different if it was a Black family? Like, would the story be that different if like the main character or the protagonist was a Black woman? You know, like, why can't we just exist in these spaces creatively? Like, why can't we as brown people be seen in these spaces that are normal?
Right.
Just like a regular family. Does it have to be so different if it's a Black family? You know what I mean? I want to normalize seeing brown faces on TV and in movies, and just like living, depicting a normal life. Like I don't see that often. It's like always, and I watch these shows and I'm like this could have easily been a Black woman. Like why? How? Like what about a brown face makes it so, like, I don't understand. And I feel like Jordan Peele is doing really good with that. Like he's also, like he's putting brown faces in these movies, and like we can see, like I want to see more of that. I want to see something else.
Amen to that.
In saying that, I remember like Keenan, not Keenan Ivory. What's the brother that was on My Wife and Kids?
Damon Wayans.
Yeah, Damon Wayans.
Damon Wayans.
Damon Wayans did My Wife and Kids, and he said he got so much pushback for putting like his son on there, portraying his son in the TV series as like an idiot, basically. And I was like, I mean, that's part of normal, right? I was like, hey, some people ain't got the smartest kids. I was like, so what? Like, how do you feel about like criticisms that are like aired? Do you think it's like unfair, or is just welcome and it's just part of the normalization of like any new show?
Like just criticisms in general, or just like,
yeah, well I'm saying like specifically, like say if there was like a new Black show or whatever, and they did something like that with that the Wayans was talking about, where he had a very inarticulate son, or maybe even a son that had like a learning disability or something like that, and show like that different side, and humanizing us versus like just being caricatures.
I think that it's no secret that we're like, viewers are overly critical of works of art that depict Black people. Like there's always something to say. It's always too much of this or not enough of that, or like, it's always, I feel like in general we have to be like, we have to be excellent. Like we have to be better. We have to try harder. And I feel like even still there's a criticism. I think about the young singer Halle Bailey. She's going to be depicting Ariel in a live action adaptation of The Little Mermaid, and people are saying things about it and we haven't even seen it yet.
Right.
Like we haven't even seen it. So it's
not even
like,
a preview.
I feel like if we haven't even seen a preview, we've like only seen fan art, and like already they don't like her hair or whatever. So it's like I don't think that it's fair. I think that in general, white people can exist peacefully in certain spaces that we can't do that. And I think that in film and television is one of those things, like. I was reading the interview that Zoe Kravitz had. She just did Catwoman, which was excellent. I saw it and it was great. She was amazing as Catwoman. And she said that she had recently, or a few years ago, wanted to go out for the role of Catwoman before. I think this was the one that Ben Affleck played Batman. And I think that they ended up casting Anne Hathaway. And they gave her the comment that she wasn't considered for the role because she was too urban. And I can't imagine, like, I just seeing her and Catwoman in this recent adaptation of Batman, I just think she did an incredible job, and I can't imagine anybody who could top her performance, honestly.
Well, I mean, especially with it being that dark or whatever, it was a good performance. I actually liked hers better than Halle Berry.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at you both.
It's not saying
you first. I'm gonna look at you second.
Like I love Halle, but her as Catwoman.
That was terrible. I'm gonna say it.
I mean, people have bad movies. It's okay.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
That was Halle's.
Yeah.
But now you're in an industry that, unfortunately, criticism is like a part of it. Is that something you tend to worry about, or is like you kind of just got strong skin on that?
You know what? I don't worry about that. And I know it's because I do it because I love film. You know what I mean? Like, if a role is not for me, then a role is not for me. I don't think that I've ever, because I've gotten a lot of no's, but I don't think that I've ever been discouraged, because I'm usually grateful for the opportunity to audition anyway. You know, I am proud of myself for putting myself out there, for showing up. I feel inspired. I usually walk off a set and I'm like, okay, next time I'll do this or that or this or that, or like, I probably shouldn't do this, but like next time, like, it just gives me fuel. But I'm not hard on myself in that way, because I'm doing it for the sake of the art. Like, I'm not trying to be famous. Like, I'm not trying to like be seen or be impressive in any way. Like, I don't really, those are not my intentions. My intentions are to create, to tell stories, to be an artist, to speak, to allow other people to speak through me. I want to create art. So I know there's going to be criticisms. I know that there'll be comparisons. I'm sure that, I haven't had a negative experience thus far. Thank goodness, knock on wood. But I'm not saying that that won't happen. But I just have released myself from feeling like I need to perform for anybody, I guess.
Right.
Like, it kind of takes away from, it's like, why are you actually doing this? And I know that actresses come into the industry and it like chews them up and spits them out, and like they are left not knowing who they are and just feeling bad about themselves. And like, I just feel like in the space that I'm in, I wouldn't allow that, because I know how valuable I am. And I just can't imagine me not being in a space where I don't love film and television and production and acting and writing and like character development. Like, I love these things so much. It's about that more so than it is about me. So I can take the criticisms. That's fine. And it's welcome.
I feel you on that. Yeah.
I want to hit the clap the clap button,
Don't do
but
it.
I don't know,
You don't know
which one the clap
is.
button is.
You might get a boo button.
Yeah,
though.
so or you may get a fart noise. I don't really know which one is which. So I don't want to. There's something else I'll probably just put in post, because I'm like, ooh, I think that's the button, but I don't know.
You want to try it out now?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try the button. Hold on. Oh, I would have gotten it right.
First time. First time. That's what I'm talking about.
Because this was what I was going to press.
Oh no,
that wouldn't be too bad. It would have killed the movie.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
It would. There are worse buttons I could have pushed. Trust me.
like the one that's like wah wah wah.
Yeah, that is the worst button I could have pushed.
That's actually a button on there.
That is really a button.
I think you hit it one time.
I did. That's why I'm afraid to touch this thing now. Like, I had a flash of like, I don't know if that's it or not. But we got it.
Fix it in post.
We got it.
Yeah.
Fix it in post.
But it's for somebody because like acting is the industry where you get a whole lot of no's and not too many yeses. So for someone who's not used to that, so how do you kind of get push through the no's?
I think that in order to push through the no's, because there have been some no's that I've gotten, and it's like, okay, but I think that I just focus on the fact that there are just so many opportunities. And I recognize the fact that all the opportunities that I've gotten thus far have brought me to where I am. And they've been positive experiences, and I've met amazing people. So if I have to wait for that, if I have to go through some no's to get to another really good positive experience, then I can wait. I don't know. I think that everything I do in my life, I just do it from a place of gratitude. Like the auditions that I do get, they're choosing me, and I'm getting these auditions for a reason. Mm-hmm. So obviously I've caught someone's attention. If I'm not the right person for the role, if they don't like my reading or whatever the situation is, I've at least gotten in front of someone. So I feel like you can't go wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there are no negatives, at least if you go from a place of like gratitude and just being open and like, because honestly, when I do these auditions, I don't ever expect to get them. I'm doing them because it's good practice for me. It gives me an opportunity to like perfect my craft, to put myself in front of someone, to get some skills under my belt. Like, it's all for my use, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, there is no, I don't know. I don't think
Every
of, like,
try is
booking.
practice, basically.
Exactly. I don't think about booking something as like the goal necessarily. Like, I'm doing the thing now, auditioning, trying, getting the nose, like driving across the city to an audition that's like 5 minutes and then I don't hear back. Like, I'm doing it. I'm planting the seeds. Like,
Right.
I'm still moving forward. So I think if you're just really grateful and you show yourself grace and you just, again, use all of these opportunities as just practice, I don't think that you have time to feel low or to feel like you're not good enough or to, and I know that everyone's experience have been different because I've even heard stories. But for me, just going into this open and willing to learn and just experience and take the experience for whatever it's going to be, and just being grateful to even have the opportunity, especially in a time that's been so unpredictable for everyone. I just take it for what it is. I'm just grateful for these opportunities. And so that's how
beautiful.
I look at it.
That was beautiful. I like that a lot.
Another button. Another button.
He knows the button. I do have a question for you though. So
Sure.
Whenever you're getting ready to go for an audition or whatever, do you ever like play like a hype music or something like that to get you like in the mood, like to, do you have like a track list? You got Spotify?
You know what? I do try to play like so for me, listening to music is like the quickest way to raise my vibrations. Like whatever I'm feeling that day, I just put on good music. I like a lot of like funk music. I like groovy melodic music. It just kind of like raises my mood. So I do that. There's affirmations that I speak, like this, like, I'm grateful. Thank you, Spirit. I'm grateful for this. Like, this is going to be great. Like, I'm grateful to just be here. Like, look how many things look how many opportunities are coming my way. So, I'm like the nut that's like talking in my car. You know what I mean? Like, so
I do that too.
Like, I'm pumped. This is great. You know what I mean? Like, just like getting myself there and just speaking positive affirmations about myself. Like, you see how worthy you are, like getting these opportunities, being able to put yourself in front of people. Like, this is going to pay off. You're like, I'm proud of you. Like, you're doing really good. You're so brave. This is brave of you. Like, self-talk is extremely important, especially in an industry that can be so cutthroat.
Yes.
You have to know who you are. And that's how, like, that's how you like can maintain your self-esteem and like you can keep yourself neutral in certain situations because you know yourself, you know who you are. So like if you're getting criticisms that are really harsh for no reason, which happens, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, great. Like, that's what you think of me. And this isn't the environment or the opportunity for me. Like, that's fine. So I'm able to let these things roll off of my shoulders in a way that I feel like a lot of people can't because they are so busy focused on like being what someone else wants them to be.
Right.
And it's like, I'm going into this industry as myself. And which is amazing because I'm getting opportunities as myself because I am myself. Like, they're booking me,
right?
Not the version of me that I've created to make me palatable or appealing to them. I come as I am, and I'm getting opportunities that want me and accept me. And so that makes me feel amazing because it's like, this is what you see is what you get. Like, I'm not trying to be, I'm from DC. I have locks and I've been able to shoot amazing campaigns for brands with all of my beautiful natural hair.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Don't change your hair.
Thank you.
It just felt perfect.
So it's been good, but you just have to know. I know that this industry can be cutthroat, and I know that it can really ruin people's self-esteem, especially young women. And you just have to know who you are. You have to really be secure and know who you are, and like that is what keeps you sane and it can allow you to move in and out of these situations and not feel torn down.
That's
or
what
like,
I'm talking about.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of locks, since you mentioned it, you know, and I got my locks over here. What?
I've
what?
got imaginary locks.
Say what?
I got imaginary locks.
Yeah, both of y'all do. I like them, both of them.
Thank you.
No, I don't. I don't have imaginary locks.
I do.
You got knots in your head though.
Oh, whoa.
I'm not saying now.
Oh, like like we'll continue.
I'm not saying now, but you know what I'm saying. You wake up in the morning, you got to brush your hair. You got,
I have a wave cap.
Okay, all right. Anyways, how? First of all, what made you start growing your hair, like locks?
So I actually was like one of the girls in school that was just like my hair had to be straight. Like I grew up like with the press and curl. My grandmom is actually Native American and she has really long straight hair, and so like that was the standard. So I was always like, I relaxed my hair super young. My mom didn't know any different because she also has long straight hair.
Right.
And I relaxed my hair super young. It all fell out. I cut it off. And then it was like flat irons, curling irons, like, the whole thing.
Of course.
And it was my senior year at Duke Ellington. And I was like, I don't know. It was just kind of a moment of like, can I shed all of that? Like, can I shed all of that? Like,
right.
is this really a part of, does this have to be such a core part of my identity? Is like worrying about having straight hair and having like this clean cut Eurocentric look. Like, do I have, like, why is it so important to me? So I think I locked my hair. I think my lock anniversary is like August 22nd, 2009. Summer 2009. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I got my
longer than any relationship I've been in.
Listen, when you start the journey and you start to lock your hair and you start that whole process, it's a spiritual journey. It really is.
It is.
Because it really is. This is the longest my hair has ever been. And I went through that whole process of curl, the long hair and stuff like that, and ironing your, pressing your hair and all that good stuff. And
did you have a jerk curl?
No, I'm not that old.
Okay, all right.
Okay, let's go back.
No. I'm saying because I know there's still some older cats in Memphis with jerry curls.
That's like the 80s.
Really?
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, I'm like, I was crashing my car.
I don't know what this.
First of all, I grew up in the 90s. All right, that's number one. Yeah, but jerry curls were like the 80s.
But if you have an old school parent, they can put stuff.
But my mom,
there's people with mullets right now.
My mom didn't do jerry curls. That wasn't a thing, right? So I forgot what I was going to say. Thank you. Anyways, I understand. I get it because this is the longest my hair has ever been. So it's very refreshing,
Now, would you say your
spiritual experience?
It is.
Now, would you say your locks is as far as like gaining auditions or even on set, has it been like benefit for you?
I think that with my look, I fit into the category of like having a unique look. I guess I have considered the ways in which it could hinder me, like getting certain roles. But I feel like the ones that I get are for me. And if I were to book that major role, it's going to be for me. There are other options. I could wear a wig if necessary, whatever. Right. But it's very important for me to represent myself as myself, because I know that there are Black women out there that look like me, and we don't have to like edit ourselves. And like, I live in California, so there's a lot of like, oh, you can just like get an injection or like go do this, you know what I mean? There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that.
I'm sorry, I was thinking she was gonna say anything else but that.
Like it's normalized.
It's very common. It's very common.
Like if you don't like something about yourself, you can just like go and get it fixed. And like, oh, all of the celebrities that you love, like they look natural, but like
They're not.
You know, they've had this and that and this. You'd be surprised. Like,
Dr. Miami. Dr. Miami.
You know, but that goes back to that whole knowing who you are.
Right.
You know, I mean, your locks are unique, but that's still you. That's not going like, you know, to Dr. Miami or whoever or whatever and getting, you know, your face sliced up.
Exactly.
Or
exactly.
Or Dr. Like, butt injection.
Or that. Or that. That's the thing. It's the thing.
Tommy
like,
tucking.
Surprised.
Tommy tucking and
I like that. Tommy tucking. That's the good one.
Wait. Just a PSA or whatever. Please do not get no surgeries or any kind of procedures in a hotel room. Just a little PSA.
Hotel room.
People doing that crazy stuff. I'm like, yo,
I thought they were over that.
No,
like,
they still doing it. It ain't happening as much, but it's still happening.
Well,
I
good
learned
old,
something today.
you know, good old eating and exercising can do the work too.
I know ain't nobody trying to do that though. For real.
Drink a gallon of water a day.
They ain't trying to do that.
Drinking water. Oh God, I would never. I would never have clear skin.
Oh, that's the problem now.
But as we wrap things up, I just wanted you to state, like, why do you love what you do?
I love what I do because it allows me the opportunity to be creative, to connect with people. It gives me a creative outlet. I think that I've learned in the last few years, like that's one thing that I've been missing, and it really truly does bring me joy. And I think that in the last few years, it's been very unpredictable for everyone. And I think that one thing that we've all considered is like what makes me actually happy. And like, if something were to happen to me today, can I say that I've been fulfilled? And that is what I was in search of. And doing what I do, it truly does bring me joy. And I don't think that we should waste a minute doing something that we just don't enjoy. And I'll never put myself in that situation again. So.
Amen to that. Yeah, there you go.
One more time for the road.
You too happy with that button.
Now she just keeps giving me reasons to use it. Like I have used this clapper more on you than any other guest we've had.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, you got some really, really good shareables, teachable moments, like that whole know yourself, know thine self.
Know thine self.
Yeah.
Know thyself.
Know thine self. I like that.
I think this.
Appreciate that.
Because before you turn this into a darker thing, we're gonna
horror
go
movies,
ahead and wrap it up right
Slice
there.
and dice. Yeah, I'm gonna get you in the. Y'all gonna be in my film. I'm gonna get y'all in my film.
She's do something bad to
us. I'm editing this all out.
You gonna edit that out?
Absolutely. I don't want any trace of horror. Not a trace of it.
So y'all saying that I can't like kill y'all, like Kevin, you like be already down on the ground?
That's the question. That really
look. Like
that's a question you really asked me.
In a movie,
we gonna be like first 48 now,
or stabbed or something like that.
Come on,
nah, if y'all kill me, I'm union. You gonna pay me SAG rate to stab me? No.
What if I get a lookalike that looks like you?
Kill him. You can kill him,
but it'll still look like you.
Oh, his name gonna be huge in the credits though. No, normally the actor's name is huge and everybody else is low. No, my name gonna be low. His name gonna be huge. Plenty dudes that look like me. There's plenty bald-headed black men to stab. I ain't gotta be one of them.
Okay, I got you. I got you. I got you.
No, you don't.
Watch.
No.
Give me a year.
No.
I'm gonna film a horror movie next year.
Look, we're gonna end this attempted hit job.
In this horror.
Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to thank you for taking time out to talk to us today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you guys for having me.
We really appreciate you.
It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see more great things from you in the future. Hopefully directing as well.
I know, yes. Thank you
I can
guys
see
so much.
Two heavyweight directors with black women with dreads directing films. I like that.
Oh, you gave me a compliment.
Sounds like
Thank
a vibe.
you.
Yeah, after you threatened to kill me. See how nice of a person I am?
So on set. She threatened to kill you on set.
Right.
It's
on
still.
Set.
I feel like I can still
set.
use this for the police. I could use this clip and it would be great evidence.
What if it's just an accident?
Right.
Man, we getting out of here. Y'all gonna get quick trying to kill me. I am once again Kevin Mumphrey with my co-host Karsten Hine Ferguson.
Yeah.
and Victoria Killer Jones.
Yes, I like
Really?
that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This is just
You
going
tried
horribly.
to insult me. It didn't happen. That was a comment.
Oh, good Lord. And that was a wrap.